This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, what is your
Sir,
doubt?
in the AWS account is there, right? When we create one VPC, so default VPC is already generated. Default VPC and root and everything is generated, right? So
Yes.
whenever by mistake we deleted all those things, it will work normally, or it will take any new account I have to make, sir?
No, 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 it will work normally. See, that is just a VPC. You can create your own VPC, na?
Yes, sir. But a default VPC and a default router, everything I deleted by mistake actually. So
Yeah,
is there
that
any
is okay.
problem? No problem, right?
No, 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 no problem. No problem at all.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other else? Okay, or else if you are if you are really interested, na, if you have some by mistake you have created VPC, right? So if you can create the default VPC again, right? With the
No, no, not at credit, sir.
sorry.
No, not created, sir. Actually, that permanently I deleted that VPC, default VPC.
Yeah, that's what I am saying. That's what I am saying.
Yes,
If you have
yes,
deleted
sir.
and again if you
Uh,
want to use the default VPC, again you can create it. So let me share
okay,
my
okay.
screen. There is an official documentation. See guys,
Okay, sir,
see
okay.
for everything you don't have to remember anything. Okay, so for everything there is an official documentation. See, there is a you can create the same. So yesterday we were discussing, right, that AWS EC2 CLI. So you can use this command and the command will create the VPC for you and create a default subnet. See, that's it. So you can create on your own, not a problem. Okay, you're getting it. Okay. So, but nobody, if see, deletion means you have deleted purposefully. If you still want, I will share you this link after the class. You can go through, and still, if you are having any doubts, you can create. So this is for if you have deleted your VPC and you want to create the VPC again. So this is what is there, right? So you can create the same thing. Okay, so in this way you will create the VPC availability zone and routing table with the same CIDR value and
Okay.
but you will be creating from scratch. That's it. Okay, so
Uh,
follow the
okay, okay, sir.
documentation. Everything there is steps given. Okay, right.
Okay, sir.
So
Yeah.
now today we are going to start with the new module. Okay, and that is EC2, which is the biggest module in AWS, right? And we are going to just a second. Yeah, so this is the biggest module in AWS, and here in this model we are going to talk about EC2 mainly, then volumes, then after volumes how to take backups, and then how to take how to manage the backups using automation, and how to uh, like create a manual backup. So everything we are going to we are going to discuss. So this module is going to be very very huge. I think maybe today if I start today, maybe by next Wednesday or Thursday it will be completed. Okay, and after that we are going to go with the load balancers. So all those things, and make sure you are not missing any of these classes from today, and all of you should log in using the laptops or desktop so that you have a clear understanding. Okay, Now, so today's module is EC2. Okay, so let me write here EC2. So it is a abbreviation for Elastic Compute Cloud. Clear? So it means Elastic Compute Cloud, right? So we are going to dig deeper on this module. Okay. So for example, if I say any VM or a server or a virtual machine, anything, I can in a diagram I can simply represent like this. Okay, so this is a virtual machine or a VM. EC2 is nothing but a virtual machine or a server. Okay, but what are all the components? So there are various components involved which makes this server or EC2. Okay, the first component is the AMI, which is Amazon Machine Image. Okay, so what is this AMI or Amazon Machine Image? So we all, if you for the first time, if you are purchasing any laptop or desktop, what is the first thing we do? So we first install the operating system, right? Whether it is Windows, Windows 11, Windows 10 or anything. So that is an operating system which we are going to install so that our laptop or desktop is usable for us. Okay, so this is the first component even here in Amazon. So here we are not going to, and how we install in our laptop or desktop? So we insert any like bootable device like USB. Earlier, those days we used to insert CD drive, right? CD or floppy disk. Okay, but now the things have changed. So there is I recently bought a new laptop. There is no this one CD drive or DVD drive. No, nowadays we are not using those things at all. Okay, now it is a era of microchips and micro items or micro things. So nowadays we are using USB for any installation. Okay, so this is your operating system which will get installed on this thing. Okay, so once you have selected the AMI, then what we are going to, so the next component is your instance type. Okay, instance type here. So here what we select, say for example, when we go to purchase a new laptop, we will discuss like whether we want to go with 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM or 16 GB RAM and so on, and how many CPU. The same thing we are going to discuss here. So this is another unit here. So here we are going to talk about CPU and RAM, which is the second component. Okay, then the next is the network interface card, NIC. So I will write it here, network interface card, isn't it? So network interface card. Clear? Now let me show you. Okay, whatever we discuss, right, all these components we are using on our day-to-day jobs in our laptops. Okay, if you don't believe me, go to your device manager and check it for yourself that even our laptops or desktop will have these kind of components, but only difference is we will not have, see, AWS have named it as AMI. Okay, so but whereas we have named it as operating system. See, this is the devices. So this is our disk. See, this is our disk. This I have not yet discussed. Okay, so let me show you the first one, the RAM on so let me show you the RAM. So why I showed you this because the operating system will get installed on the disk, right? So that is the reason I am showing here. Yes. Then next is your where it is, just a second. Yeah, here, see. So this is the processor, 11th generation core i7. So mine is the latest processor, i7 and 2.3 gigahertz. So this is the CPU unit. Okay, so this comes with the RAM also. So RAM and CPU comes together because RAM chip we will insert into the motherboard. Okay, so that comes under processor, isn't it? And let me show you the network interface card. Just a second. See here, this is the network adapters. See? Okay, if I uninstall this, my system will not be able to connect to the internet. Okay, so if any one of the component crashes, right, so my whole system will not be in a usable form. Okay, why? Because these are all dependent on one another, because my entire application is stored in the disk. If my disk crashes, then even though I have i7 processor or any processor, it is of no use. My system will not come up at all. So why I am explaining this? Because so that you understand the key concept behind cloud computing. Here, now coming back to the these components are independent of one another. They are not embedded in a single motherboard like in case of our laptop or desktops. Clear? Now, next component is into this network security group, we will add the security groups. Okay, so allow IP ranges. Okay, so security groups acts at network interface level. Okay, next is the next component is the hard disk or the EBS volume. So we call it as a hard disk, but AWS calls it as a EBS volume. So let me write here. So EBS volume. Yes. So this is the EBS volume. So it can range from minimum how much? 8 GB to 15 TB. Okay, or even more. Okay, right? So this is the fifth component, right? So all these are independent of one another. Meaning is if anything happens to this, so immediately you can replace and connect to this, and you can keep our application up and running. So that is the power of cloud computing. Imagine, see, let me draw. Okay, we have a laptop here, right? So all the components, whatever I explained, even my laptop has those components. If any one hard disk crashes, so my entire laptop crashes, isn't it? So my entire laptop crashes. So that is why nowadays cloud computing is becoming popular because of this reason. Okay, in this section we are going to talk about what? We are going to select the VPC, subnets, and etc. It's the networking section. So that gets added to this network interface. So here CPU and RAM we are going to decide, and here the volumes. Okay, then the last is you need a key pair. Okay, so let me add it as a key pair. Okay, so key pair is somewhat attached to the EBS volume, because one key pair we are downloading, right? So for that, so we will have a private key. So for that, lock will be there inside the our EBS volume. I will show it to you where it gets stored. Okay, so as a cloud engineer, you should understand this concept. Only then you will be able to troubleshoot things. Okay, so this is a security groups, this is a network interface card. So these are the components of a elastic compute cloud, or a VM in short. Okay, so this is nothing but a EC2. Okay, right? Now let me log into the AWS console, and let us explore this option one by one, so that you will understand. Now whenever you are trying to launch a new instance, right, so you will follow all these things. See, naming is, it is not a component, it is additional. Okay, see, you will start with the AMI. Okay, you are going to start with the AMI. Here you are going to select Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, SUSE Linux, Debian, and so on, right? But you have to select a, I always select AWS, that is AWS provided operating system, which is Amazon Linux, because I feel comfortable with it. You can go with Ubuntu also if you want to play around. You can do that, not an issue. Okay, next, see, the next type is instance type. Here we are going to select the how many CPU, how many GB RAM you are going to want for your server, right? So here, that's what, so you can select. Okay, now next is key pair. I already discussed key pair, right? And next is network settings. Okay, so this will be in the network interface card. Okay, and next is the volume. See, these are the main components if you want your server to work properly. Okay, so these are additional components. So advanced details, you can add the user data script. So for example, you don't want to, for example, there is some 100 commands you need to run on every new server. Okay, so rather than creating the server first and executing those 100 commands one by one for and imagine you have 100 servers, so it is a time taking. So rather than that, if you feed it in the user data, that gets automatically installed, and the server will be ready with those whatever you have fed it to this user data, it will be ready. Okay, it will be just like plug and play. Okay, but it is not mandatory. You're getting it? Okay, so yeah, so these are the components here. Okay, now coming back to the diagram, now if any one thing damages, right, so that is why we are going to talk about backups a little later. So in production environment, or in any environment for that matter, we will make it a habit to take backups. Okay, so that is the first thing which will make sure in every organization that, see, anything may happen, because in the backend it is a hardware. So hardware failures are inevitable, we cannot help. So if you have backup in place, if anything happens, you can straight away revert back or restore the server within minutes. Okay, and if suppose today you have chosen 4 GB and your application is performing very slow, no problem, you can shut down the server and you can change this instance type from 4 GB to 8 GB. You can increase, yeah, that facility is there. Okay, so only this component you will change. So all these other components will remain. So that is why it is, the name itself suggests it is a elastic. You can play like anything. You can, upsize, you can downsize. Okay, you can increase the size, you can shut down, whatever you want to do, you can play around. Okay, and you will be billed for the number of hours. Clear, isn't it? And the advanced detail is user data, which we discussed. So user data is something like that. We can you can mention like this. It will be fed to the, so I will mention the user data. So here command 1, okay, command 2, command 3. So this will get installed into the EBS volume. You're getting it? So these are all advanced topics. So what will happen at the time of launch, this script, this will be converted as a bash script and it will be executed. So yesterday I created one script, right? So same way. So you don't need to log into your server also. So easily you can manage. Okay, so now let me show you a live demonstration where I'm selecting all these components one by one and I'm going to feed this as a user data. Right, we are going to install one Apache web server without even logging into the server. So let us do the hands-on. So go here. Okay, I have this ready. So I'm going to name it as Apache web server and I'm going to select Amazon as always. So now I'm going to select T2 micro, which is free tier eligible, and key pair I'm going to select, which I created yesterday, GPS Canada admin. And network settings, you can edit here, you can change, you can create on the whatever you want to, but for now I'm going to stick with the default VPC. Okay, because I don't have anything to do. So auto assign public IP enabled. So I'm going to select the existing security groups, so which is this. Yeah, so let us keep this one and see here minimum 8 GB is required. If you want you can extend, but it is not required. And apart from that you can add additional disk also, like this. You can keep on adding disk, but it is not required. I will tell you what will be the use case to add. At that point of time you can add it, right? Now regarding the user data, so I told that I'm going to add a commands, right? So right, sudo yum install gpd, these are very simple commands. Okay, and sudo system ctl start httpd and then echo welcome to AWS class. I'm just printing, I'm trying to printing one line to our web page. Okay, that will get displayed. So under var www html, then index.html, right? Yeah, so this is a very simple script I have done, right? You can add this script at the end also, or if you want you can restart, it's up to you, right? So what I've done is, this is very important. So this is called a shebang line. Okay, so every bash script will start with this line, shebang line, right? So Now I'm going to launch. Right, so I'm going to sit back and relax until all the commands will be executed, and I'm going to select it. I'm going to browse this. So let us wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, and make sure that the security group is allowing, right? Okay, so we have allowed all the ports here. See, so all the ports we have allowed, so doesn't matter now. So within minutes our application, see, welcome to AWS gas class, isn't it? So did I do anything? Did I log into the server? No. So that is what. So this is why people are migrating their applications, because it is very easy to manage. Okay, now if you're not happy with this server, right? So let me go back. You can change this. So just you have to bring down the server and change the instance type, and everything else will remain the same. Nothing will happen to your data. You can increase the size of the server, you can reduce the size of the server, you can add a number of disks, and so on. You're getting it. Now let us log into the server and let us see where the keeper is get. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, now actually I log in one server right now. Okay. After that, I feed the data to that server only. Again, I can change my server. The data will flow to that new server, or it is stay in old server only, sir.
You have launched the new server with the data, and then what is your question?
I launch new server, sir, and also I feed that all data to that new old, server only. So again, I'm changing my server.
Yeah, the data will be there if you are changing the server.
No, that data will flow to old server to new server, or it will stay in old server only, sir.
It will be same because your disk will be same, no?
Okay, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what you didn't understand. See, what I am doing is I am just changing this component.
Okay, okay.
These things will be remaining one and the same. I just want to increase this size, right? CPU. I just want to increase the CPU and RAM. So just what I
Okay.
will do, I will just click. I will just replace this with the new one. That's it. So all the other components will remain the same.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Got it.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now let us log into the server. Just a second. See, you are getting it. So it is adding the key. So where it is adding? So you have to go inside the .ssh. So this is the authorized key. So this is where it is adding. See, with this information only we are able to log in. This is the key. You are getting it. So because of this information only our login will be accepted. Authorized key. Clear?
Sir, I
Right.
got it, sir.
Okay. So this is where it is get our key information. The key pair information will get stored. Right. And I was talking about the network interface, right? See here, if you want to see our network interface, just run this command. So this is where the This is our IP address. You can check here. Okay, so this is our network, the net mask, broadcast IP, everything it is there. Okay, now if you want to, I was talking about the volume, right? So where you can see that, so there are certain commands. So you can see as lsblk list block device. See, this is our disk, 8 GB. See here. And if you want to see how the system, like as a file system, you can see like this. So this is the command. So 1.6 GB is installed. So 1.6 GB is taken by the operating system. So available is 6.5 GB. That means 20% is utilized. So this is the disk. You're getting it? And this is the RAM. You can check the RAM capacity like this. Okay. And CPU you can check like this. LS CPU, you will get the information. See, one CPU. See, model is Intel Xeon CPU E5 V3 2.4 GHz. So it is similar to this output, right? I told you people. See, it is similar to this output. So everything is same. Only thing is it is not managed by us. That's it. So you should understand these kind of concepts. Okay. So this is the CPU component. Now with so with my laptop, what will happen is if I want to change my hard disk, right? So this is waste. So nobody will take this now. This will be considered as a second hand, right? So I need to get a new disk, and until I add a new disk, my laptop will be unusable. But whereas in cloud computing, it is not the case. Within minutes, you can get back. Okay, and I was telling you the Apache web server, right? So go to HTML. So this is where, okay, so you can change something. So you can make it as a H1. If you are good at HTML, you can do that. Okay, I don't have permission to edit. So let me do a sudo. Yes. Now if I come back here and just do, see, if I do refresh, see, my application, I have made some changes. Okay, if you keep on adding some data, so it will work. So you can do the same thing. So just change it to H2. Apache web server and save it. Yeah. And if you just refresh, you see, welcome to Apache web server. So like this, you can practice. So everything is manageable, right? Clear? Okay. Next, coming back to the diagram. Okay, so we have seen the we saw this key pair also, right? And we saw this network interface and instance type also we saw, right? And the user data, it's getting installed. Clear? Now, next thing. Okay, so now what we are doing is Okay, we are done with our changes. Now something happens. Okay, now come back to the console. Now I want this setup. So this is I think that this is our application. Now somebody joins the team, he has access and he accidentally terminated it. So my whole work will be gone, isn't it? So he has joined today, think that he is a new one, he don't know what the termination means. So he understood that termination means shutdown. So he will just terminate. So what will happen? Everything gets deleted. So what to do in this type of scenario? So that is where we take. So even in our laptop, right? So something may happen. We will store, if some important data is there, we buy a external hard disk and we copy the data to that external hard disk, isn't it? So same thing we do in the cloud computing or in AWS also. So how we do that? By taking a backup. Okay, how we can take a backup? We take a backup by, see, the best option is, I will show you. I will first take a backup. Okay, and then first I will terminate the server. After taking the backup, I will terminate the server and I will show you that my application is back again. Whatever, see, this is the application. It will be as it is within few minutes. Just watch. So before that, let me take a backup. How to take a backup? Go to actions, click on image and templates and click on create image, and you can name it as Apache Web Server 2022, and you can copy the same thing to the description and make sure you are selecting this no reboot. No reboot in the sense for production system where the application is live. If you don't select this, there are chances that your your server may get rebooted. Okay, so rebooted in the sense restart. Okay, so I'm going to create now. So let it create and go to the AMI. See, now this is creating a AMI. Now this is known as a custom AMI. I'm going to name it as the same thing, Apache Web Server 2022. Now this is called as custom AMI. Okay, and this will be in a pending state. It means it is now in the backend, it is copying. Okay, now if you ask me what it is doing is, it is copying this information to another disk in the backend, and it is creating an AMI, which is similar to this.
Sir, one question. What about snapshot, sir?
In backend, it will create snapshot itself.
That
I will
also you
show
can
you.
use it as a, okay, okay.
Yeah, so in backend, it creates snapshot itself. Okay, so you see, there are two ways to take a backup. You can take snapshots directly, and you can create an image also. So I have shown you the first step, which is this one. We are just creating a image now. So if you see here, it is creating a snapshot. See, can you see here? Block devices dev-xbda is equal to snap. So this is the snapshot it is creating. So it means this is the snapshot ID. This is the size 8 GB and true means GB2. So the disk type is GB2. Okay, so it will take some time. Yeah, now it is already available. Okay, so now I will show you the use case. Now where someone have come and he has selected this and he has terminated. And he has terminated. Now application external user is now trying to access. Now they are bombarding. Oh, our application is down. Application is down. right? So what we can do? So within minutes you can launch the application. So at this time what we do, so just name it as Apache web server, and now I'm not going to select this base image, I'm going to select the my image. So my AMI, I'm going to select this. That's it. And key pair, I'm going to and security group also I'm going to select the same thing and just launch. So now if what you are observing is the IP is got changed. Okay, so just with the change of IP, but the IP is changed, but we can still access our application, because for us IP is not important, for us application is important. And in every organization we don't access the application with IP address, we will access the application using the domain name, something like google.com or facebook.com or example.com, anything. So we will quickly bind the domain with the IP address. So you just wait and watch, within minutes our application will be up and running. I didn't do anything, I didn't pass the user data, everything will be as it is. Just give it some time. Okay, so now why it is not restarting? Because the reason is the application, the data will be there, but the thing is I have not made the application to come up when the system restarts, right? So let me show you that. See why I'm not getting the application, because let me show you. See, the application is there, but I cannot access. The reason is this: sudo systemctl status httpd. If you see here, it is active because the application service is not started. So you should start the application, then it will be accessible. See, so I will just start the application. Now see the output first. See, now it has started. Now if you just refresh, see, the same application data is coming. Okay, so now I will take, so now I have added, so I have started the service. But if I want my application to come up whenever there is a reboot, I need to add this additional parameter, that is sudo systemctl enable httpd. It means whenever there is a restart, it will be restarted by default by the system. Okay, now if I take the backup of this server, so this AMI, I mean the AMI which gets created from this backup, from this AMI, if I launch a new instance, by default it will be up and running. I don't need to log in and create again. I'll show you. So let me go back and I'll let me take a again this backup. So go to actions, go to image and template, create image, Apache web server, and in description this is an incremental backup. Means until now the backup is already present in the previous AMI, right? But this is an incremental backup where the HTTPD service is enabled. So I'm going to create the another AMI. So you can name it as Apache Web Server 2. So it will take some time.
Sir, how many extension backup we can make? We can create.
You can create n number of backups you want, no issues. But that is chargeable. Okay. That is something which is not free. So yeah, that is billable. Okay. So it will take some time. So let us wait until.
Then can we do this in a free tier account?
Yeah, you can do it. But once you are done with the practice, right, just delete it.
Okay.
So that you will be billed only normally nominal fee like 5 rupees something it will be there. So you can pay that amount.
Sir, and what about the storage? You said 8 GB, we can increase up to our how much we can. So is there any limit for a free tier account? So
Yeah. See, up to for every month, I think 30 GB of disk is free. Okay. So now okay. So if you get any doubts regarding the free tier, right? So just what you do is go to AWS free tier. Yeah. So here you will get water and all, it is free. So you have created one. So click on 12 months free. So what and all it is there. See. So EC2 750 hours EC2 is free. Okay. So 5 GB of S3 bucket is free. See 30 GB of elastic block storage is free. So I think nominally you will be charged. So there won't be. I think of course Snapshot is not free. Okay. Because if you select storage, right? So in the storage only these three are free. Okay. So if you take snapshots, I think you will be billed a nominal fee that you can manage, right? Okay. So now coming back to our. Okay. So now this application is running. Now after I enable the service, I have taken a backup that is called incremental backup. Okay. So now again this guy came and he will terminate the server now. A new guy. So he is again terminating the server. Just watch. So terminated. Now again the same scenario. They are bombarding. But I can restore the application because See, earlier it was 10, now it is my AMIs. Yeah, so this is the new one. So this is an incremental backup. So select this. And key pair, I'm going to select the same thing. And security group also, I'm going to select the same thing. And see, I'm not going to feed anything. It will be completely empty. Okay, just I'm launching. See, now this time my application is ready. So this is why we have to take a backups. Okay, we cannot say nothing will happen. Anything may happen in AWS, even in cloud, because in backend they are all hardware. So hardware outages may happen anytime. So we cannot guarantee anything. So that is why we have a habit of taking a backups. Okay, so now you might have seen that, okay, in this event, what nothing is changing apart from the IP. But I don't want the IP also to change, not to change. I don't want the IP to change. So in this case, what we can do? So there is a concept called elastic IP, right? So as we have taken, right? So we have taken 4 elastic IP. So this is like you are purchasing your own dedicated public IP from the AWS. Like you are telling, I need this public IP because I don't want to change my public IP, even if I delete, terminate, shut down anything. So at that point, we will make use of the elastic IP address. So if you have to click here, allocate elastic IP address, and then you will, additionally, there will be one more IP address, and you need to select that, and you need to associate. Okay. So for example, like this. So you have to click on actions, and you can associate here. Just a second. Okay, so I have taken one IP address. So let me change the details here. See. Okay, so this I have taken in the production VPC. So that is why I am not able to associate here. So this is the association ID. See, all the other instances are having see, this is the private IP address. See, 10.200. So this is my custom private VPC which I have created. So that is why, and I have not created any instance which is in this VPC, which matches to this 10.200. So that is why I am not getting the option to associate. So that is why the other options are grayed out, like release, elastic IP, and all those things. Okay, so that is why we have to be very careful. So be careful. Don't click on this unless you are very sure, because what this will do is it will dedicate a public IP to your account, and until and unless you release back, it will be there in your account. Okay. Now, so this is what. So with the elastic IP, you can change that behavior. Okay. So you can ensure that your IP is not changing. Whether you delete the instance also, the IP is not changing at all. Okay. Now, the other way also you can take a backup. Okay. So the other guy was telling that, sir, snapshots. Yeah, you can do that. So how we can take a snapshot? So to take a snapshot is what you have to do. You have to go to the volume level. So select the instance, click on the storage, and select the volume you want to take a snapshots, and select the volume, go to the actions and create a snapshot. Okay. So this way, once you create the snapshot, right? So this will be under in the snapshot sections like this. And from this, see, now you can see in the description, it is created by create image, the automatic option which I showed you people, right? So what you can do, you can create one more AMI like this. So create image from the snapshot. You can create n number of AMI from the snapshot. It doesn't matter. Okay. So we will explore more on the backups in the coming classes and more on EC2. Okay. So I'm going to stop it here. So before I wind up, is there any doubt? You can ask me now.
ಸರ್ ಒಂದು HTTP ಸರ್ವರ್ ಲಾಂಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಯೂಸರ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಪುಟ್ ದ ಕೋಡ್ ಸರ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್
Yeah.
ಇನ್ EC2 ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, sir. So
Okay.
any servers ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
Any server, you can feed it in the user data.
Okay, okay. HTTP or HTTPS or SQL.
Anything, it is up to you. It is up to you and the project.
Okay, okay.
See, nowadays they don't do anything manually. They have all, we have all automated the flow.
So developer will do that, right, sir?
Yes, yes. So developer will have the code ready, and our job is to get the code from the GitHub or Bitbucket and to deploy using the CI/CD pipeline. That's it.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, when we launch instance, ಅಲ್ಲಿ 8 GB ಫ್ರೀ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, we have I mean until 30 GB it is free ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. So if we add one more 8 GB, then will that be chargeable? I mean,
No, 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 no. Because that is under 8 plus 8 is 16, no? So that is free.
Okay, until 30 we can add like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir, got it.
30 GB in your entire account, I am saying, not per instance. Entire account, I am saying.
Entire account. Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Got it.
So for example, if you launch 10 instances with 8 GB, so that will be 8 into 10, 80 GB. So you have already crossed the limit. You're getting it?
Got it, sir. So that's why only we have to play within that free limit.
Yes, you have to play within the free tier. Okay, anybody else?
No, sir.
Okay, so then that's it. I'm going to stop the recording.